Is Botox for sweaty palms actually worth it? You know what? You aren't here for a medical review. You are here because you are sick of being the guy who wipes his hands, his palms on his jeans like a nervous child. You know exactly what I am talking about. I am talking about that pathetic, that exhausting algorithm that runs in your head for 24 hours a day. You walk into that room and instantly check the airflow. You check the temperature. You walk into that room and instantly scan the person who might shake your hand, and you map out exactly the path to avoid them. You are a wet ghost. You sit in class, you sit in meetings, and you can't even write on a piece of paper without the ink bleeding or without curling up the page from your own sweat. And when you hold the steering wheel, your hand slips. You know the worst part, the part that keeps you up at night, is that you can't even touch a woman. You are exhausted from living a life of physical chores because you are so tired, because you are so desperate to live a fucking normal life for 5 minutes. You are ready to hand over $1,000 to some guy in white coat just to stab you 100 times. You think you are buying the shortcut out of the matrix, but in reality, you are living a lie. Look at me. When I was 19 years old, I remember clearly it was the middle of that brutal, humid summer, and my hands weren't just sweating, they were like a river. I couldn't operate in the real world. I felt like disabled. And you know what I did? I decided to go to the dermatologist office. And when I finally met him, I looked him in the eye and said, Doctor, you need to do something. I can't live with this thing. I feel like I'm disabled. I cannot touch anything. It's just too much for me. Please help me. I still remember there was a young female assistant in the dermatologist's office, and she was pretty. She was the kind of girl with whom I actually wanted to talk to. The kind of girl I would see in the gym or I would see in the school, with whom I wanted to talk, but I never, because I knew I wasn't worthy. And when the time came to show my palms to the dermatologist, I made a big mistake of looking at a girl's face while showing my sweaty palms. I still remember her expression. She did not look me with pity. You know, when she looked at my sweaty palms, when she looked at my dripping palms, her nose twisted like she had smelled something dead, and she physically leaned away from me. When I saw that, it was pure, unfiltered disgust. Right there, in a fraction of a second, I experienced the biological ache. I felt like a fucking subhuman in that room, and seeing that disgust on a beautiful girl's face felt like my entire future as a man being erased in real time. Now I know some of you be watching this and saying, "Oh bro, don't care about girls. They aren't important. Just focus on yourself, focus on the solution," things like that. If you are one of those, get the fuck out of here. You know why? Because I lived that exact lie for most of my life. I believed in that lone wolf, and let me tell you how that lone wolf ends. It ends up with you being lonely, scared, skinny fat, and a soft version. If you are fine with that, keep on coping, keep on ignoring your own biology. But for me, I cared about that girl's opinion because I am a man. I have testosterone in my veins. I want to attract, I want women in my life. And knowing that my biology disgusted them broke me from inside. Then, when I finally turned back to the doctor, I said, Doctor, I need something that fixes this disaster. I want a solution. Do whatever you have to do. Just fix me. You know what he said? He said there is no permanent fix, but there is Botox. He explained me the procedure like he was selling me a car lease. He said it's gonna take 50 to 100 injections per hand and a cost of like around $2,000 per session. And the kicker, he said it wears off. And you have to crawl back in every 4 to 5 months just to get stabbed again. And at that time, I was working a minimum wage job. And when I heard $2,000 per session, it blew up my mind. I thought, how I'm gonna afford this thing? But I was so desperate, so tired, so disgusted by this curse that I looked at my mom, who was sitting right next to me, and I bowed towards her and I said, Mom, I will get this. I will work and pay every single penny I earn to this doctor to get dry. I want you to really think about how weak that is. Think about the mindset of a slave. I was willing to become a financial slave to a guy in a white coat just to rent dry life for few fucking months. Think how pathetic my situation was. But thankfully, for some reason, the doctor paused. He said, I am too young for the injections, and instead, he told me to first try an interferosis machine, which I took his advice and I bought it. And I also quit that after 5 fucking miserable years of using it. I will tell you at the end of this video why, but don't think for a second that interferosis is the way, is the holy grail. It's shit as well. After that, I never went to the Botox route. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because as I got older, as I woke up, I realized a groundbreaking reality about Botox that nobody is ever gonna talk about on internet, and it's gonna shake your world. Listen to me very closely. I am about to share something very important, and it's gonna open your eyes forever. Just think about these motherfuckers for a second. They are suggesting you to enslave you with an annual subscription of $4,000 just to get your hand dry. $4,000 a year for the rest of your life to get dry. And now I want you to name a single doctor in the whole planet who looked at your hands and said, oh man, I see your problem. I see your dripping hands. And there's a fucking fix for 30 fucking dollars and it's called anti-hydral. You can even get it online. You get it? Now, name one motherfucker who told you this. Who told you this? You know what? You can't. Because there isn't anyone. I have been to multiple dermatologists in my own life, and every time I went to them, they always sold me on the pills, on the Botox, or on the interferosis, or on the fucking ETS surgery, where they cut your chest open and cut your nerves. You need to understand one thing right now. You need to get it fixed inside your head. For them, you are just walking dollars. They don't give a fuck about your condition. They don't care how you feel. They know you are in pain. They know you are desperate. They know you are desperate to hold a girl's hand without her pulling away with the disgust on her face. And unfortunately, they take advantage of this. They don't want to cure you because a cured patient is a lost customer. They want to milk you. And the way they milk you with Botox is directly attacking your masculinity. Listen to me closely. Botox is a neurotoxin. It works by sending a literal poison to your nerves, which blocks the signal that goes to your sweat glands. And it is the fucking same exact nerves that are responsible for your physical strength. Your hands are the primary tool with which you interact with the physical world as a man. When you let a doctor inject poison for 100 times into your palms, Botox makes you physically weak. I have personally spoken to men who have gone through this procedure, and for months, they couldn't open a jar of pickles. Their hands feel like fucking disabled. They have lost their grip strength. Imagine you are finally taking back control of your own life. You are finally tired of being a skinny fat and you finally join the gym. You join the gym to build that physique that demands respect. And when you go into the weight section, where you try to lift a barbell, you realize that you have chemically castrated your own hands. You traded sweat for weakness. You let them take your grip. Grip, a man's strength is the very thing that makes him capable. It is how you build, it is how you lift, it is how you protect. And you pay them thousands of dollars to take away the same grip that made you a man. You want to be successful. You want to be your own boss. You can't do it when you have to pay an annual tax of $4,000 to a dermatologist to just shake someone's hand. You don't own your dryness. The clinic owns it. And the second your bank account runs dry, the second you miss an appointment, guess what? You are back to zero. Your hands go wet again, and again you will end up as a wet ghost. I didn't get Botox. Instead, I found a tube for $30 of antihydral, which fixed my hardware glitch for pennies. It fixed me without making my muscles paralyzed. It fixed me without making me weak. It fixed me without making me a slave to the clinic. And once the hardware was fixed, I went to war with my software. I began my journey. I stopped being a patient looking for or begging for doctor to help, and instead I became a soldier. I became a man taking control back of my own life. If you go the Botox route, you will keep paying for the life that isn't yours. You will lose your edge, you will get weak, and you will stay inside the matrix of medical dependency forever. But if you are sitting there thinking about the backup plan, thinking about the interferosis machine that doctor pushed me when I was 19 years old, you need to hear about the truth of that trap. They sell to you as a safe alternative, but it is a prison of its own. You need to understand why I quit interferosis after 5 years. Click here to learn more about it. I will see you right there.